winners. What can the football team do? Apollos took his eye off the ball just for a moment. Morena resettles it. Apollos! Oh, it's brilliant! It's absolutely brilliant! Oswin Apollos, formerly from Polokwane City, now a Buccaneer. He gets his 4th international goal on his 18th appearance. And South Africa are sailing to the land of Uncle Sam. 2-0. Gayton can't contain himself. Even Daniel Dan, who doesn't often smile these days, he's smiling.
Before the first kingdom rises, before borders divide the land, a queen stands upon a sacred mountain. The sky is dry. Rivers shrink into stone. The people wait. Then she begins to sing. Across the valleys of present-day Limpopo, the Rain Queen lifts her voice toward the heavens. Clouds gather where moments ago there was only dust. Thunder rolls across the horizon. Lightning dances over distant hills. The rain comes. Not as weather. As a blessing. As a covenant between the living and the ancestors. And in that moment, South Africa reveals one of its oldest truths: power belongs not only to kings and warriors, but to those who can speak with the unseen world. South Africa is a meeting place of many worlds. Across its mountains, coastlines, grasslands, and deserts live the descendants of peoples whose stories stretch back thousands of years. Among them are the Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Tswana, Venda, Ndebele, and the San, the first known peoples of southern Africa. For many of these traditions, the universe is never empty. The ancestors remain present. Among Nguni-speaking peoples such as the Zulu and Xhosa, the departed become Amadlozi, ancestral spirits who guide, protect, and warn their descendants. They are not distant gods. They are family. Dreams become messages. Storms become signs. A successful harvest becomes evidence that the bond between the living and the dead remains strong. Creation itself is often linked to a supreme creator known as Kulunkulu, the Great One who brings humanity into existence. Yet daily spiritual life is centered on ancestors who stand between humanity and the divine. To walk this land is to walk among generations. Every mountain carries memory. Every river carries a story. Sacred symbols and deities, 3 to 7 o'clock. Deep within Venda tradition lives one of southern Africa's most powerful sacred figures, Majaji, the Rain Queen. She rules not through conquest, but through harmony with the forces of nature. The people believe she can call rain when drought threatens the land. Her power comes from ancient knowledge passed from queen to queen across generations. Today, her story survives not only in legend but in living cultural memory. Elsewhere, another figure emerges from Zulu cosmology. Unkulunkulu walks the earth at the beginning of time. He emerges from the reeds and brings humanity into existence. He teaches people how to live, how to build families, and how to understand their place in the world. Life itself flows from his wisdom. Yet humanity also learns another lesson. Death enters the world through a failed message. A slow-moving chameleon carries the promise of eternal life. A swift lizard brings the message of mortality. The lizard arrives first. Since then, every human life carries both beauty and impermanence. Among the San peoples, ancient rock paintings tell another sacred story. The trickster and creator figure Kagan, often appearing as a praying mantis, moves between worlds. He creates. He transforms. He teaches. He deceives. He reminds humanity that wisdom often arrives in unexpected forms. Across thousands of rock shelters, his presence remains painted into stone, a sacred archive older than many civilizations. These stories are not trapped in museums. They live. In rural villages, ceremonies still honor ancestors through prayer, music, and offerings. Traditional healers, known as sangomas, continue practices rooted in ancestral communication. The rhythm of drums still accompanies rites of passage. The sound of praise poetry still celebrates heroes and communities. In Venda regions, memories of the Rain Queen remain intertwined with local identity. Across KwaZulu-Natal, ancestral reverence continues alongside Christianity. Across the Eastern Cape, Xhosa traditions remain woven into family life and ceremony. South Africa's spiritual landscape is not a relic. It is a conversation between old and new. Cathedrals stand beside sacred hills. Modern cities rise beside ancestral burial grounds. The ancient world continues to breathe beneath the surface of the modern nation. When South Africa's national team, Bafana Bafana, takes the field, they carry more than tactics and ambition. Their nickname means the boys. Yet behind those boys stand generations. The resilience celebrated by supporters echoes a deeper cultural belief: no one walks alone. Ancestors walk beside the living. Communities triumph together. Defeat is endured together. Victory is shared. The gold worn by South Africa recalls sunlight across the Highveld. The green reflects the life-giving landscapes sustained by rain, soil, and memory. And when tens of thousands sing in one voice inside a stadium, it feels strangely familiar. Not unlike an ancient gathering. Not unlike a ceremony. Not unlike a people remembering who they are. Because football, like mythology, is ultimately about belonging. About carrying stories forward. About finding ourselves within something larger than ourselves. And so the question remains: if South Africa's spirit is shaped by ancestors, rain queens, and sacred mountains, what hidden myths still guide the hearts of Africa's other football nations?